All right, guys, so I wanted to do a video today on, sorry about my hair, work camping at Adventureland. So as I record this, I am actually sitting in Huntsville, Alabama, working for C's Candies, and I will do a video of that once this work camping opportunity is over. But obviously, Adventureland is completed. I was there this year, 2018, from April 5th through September 30th of 2018. So I wanted to do an extensive video of what to expect and what you'll get, and the goods, the bads, everything. So here we go. So I accepted a position this year with Adventureland. Easy process. They send you all the paperwork online. You do everything on your computer, your phone, whatever, send it to them, painless, really no big issue. You are allowed to arrive at Adventureland in April. Now, I think it might have changed for this year. I got there April 5th, but I do believe this year they were going to institute something new. If you were a first year, you couldn't get there before April 15th. And if you were a returner, you could get there anytime after April 1st, but you'll have to check with them on that. Again, I got there April 5th. They're not open yet. It is cold. I got snowed on many times, which I don't care for. But it is a nice campground. It's in Altoona, Iowa, which is basically a suburb of Des Moines. And full hookups, water, sewer, electric. They do have Wi-Fi. And when you first get there, when there's not a lot of people there, it works great. Obviously, as more and more people get there, it's a little slower and a little more spotty. They do have bathhouses. I was near one of the bathhouses where I was staying. The way the campground is set up, they have pull-throughs on the streets, and then around the outside, they have what I would call circles or cul-de-sacs. And I was in one of those, as I have a travel trailer at 22 feet and don't need a pull-through site. I got lucky and was in circle N as in Nancy, and that is right literally, so M is literally the circle that everyone walks through to go over the bridge to go to Adventureland. So I was in the one right next to that. So I could see the rides from my rig. I was probably to the front gate, I would say 3 or 4 football fields, so not far. Made it real easy. And I was probably, I don't know, a football field from the bathhouse, give or take. They are, showers, stalls, sinks. They're not air conditioned well, I believe they might be heated. I guess they are heated, but they're not air conditioned, I can tell you that. So in the summertime. If you guys don't know anything about Iowa, if you've not worked there, I'm from Florida, so I thought humidity in Florida was bad. Iowa is ridiculous. Iowa, it's like they wrapped you in a wet wool blanket they just pulled out of their microwave. It is hot and humid, so keep that in mind, because I don't know that a lot of people are ready for that in the summertime. And there were several days where it was a heat index up over 105, and you're outside. I mean, you're, unless you're in a retail store, you're outside, but we'll go into that. So I arrived at the park on April 5th, and they don't open till the end of April, and that would be for weekends only. And they are open weekends only till the end of May, and then they go full time because the kids get out of school. You have your choice of 2 shifts, either day shift or night shift. Now, they are making changes to that for this coming year, 2019, because this year, 2018, the day shift and night shift were not the same amount of hours. So if you worked the morning shift, you worked basically a 4-hour shift with a 30-minute mandatory time off the clock lunch break. And then if you work the night shift, depending on what time we closed, it could be anywhere from 5 to 7, 8 hours. So, keep that in consideration. They do go by seniority, and there are a lot of people that have been there a long time. So more than likely, it's going to be very difficult to get a morning shift, because that's what most of the older people want. I got lucky and was asked if I wanted to. I asked for mornings. I didn't get it, but I probably worked 2 or 3 nights and got switched to mornings, and that's what I preferred. I didn't like working at night. One of the main reasons is that they do sell alcohol, and some people partake too much of it, and they can make it difficult for everyone to have fun. I was in the rides department. They're going to give you your choice of either rides, games where you're trying to get people to play the obligatory pop the balloon or hit the mallet and make the frog jump, all those games. They have retail where you can work in a retail store and sell trinkets to the natives, or you can do foods where you're working in one of the mini restaurants doing food service. I chose rides because I thought it would be the most interesting and have the most interaction with customers, which is what I enjoy. And I had a very good time. I have nothing bad to say about Adventureland. I enjoyed my time there. Everyone was very nice to me, gave me every opportunity. I ran way more rides than I ever thought I would. I mean, I ran probably 3/4 of the rides there, and the majority of the ones I didn't run were either kids rides, which I really had no interest in doing because I'm talking little kids, you know, like 3, 4, 5, or which, I just didn't want to do. Or the rides they told me I wouldn't run anyway because they are very intricate or very expensive, and most time first year people don't run those. So anyway, you'll have your choice. They'll give you your option. I have friends and people that I work with that were in all the departments, and everyone seemed to have a pretty good time. Now, the pay. So keep in mind, you're getting a free site, free utilities, water, sewer, electric, Wi-Fi. So you're not paying for any of that. It's completely free. You don't have to work any hours to get it. It's yours, period. And every hour you work for Adventureland, you're paid. However, that being said, you are paid $8.50 an hour. If that's a problem for you, I'm telling you ahead of time, and it will not change. It's $8.50 an hour. And I don't care if you work 20 hours or 120 hours. There's no overtime. You can work as many hours as you want, but you get $8.50 an hour. Doesn't matter. They do throw an incentive in of 75 cents per hour for every hour worked that you get at the end, but you must stay to the last day, which for 2018 was September 30th. You had to be working on September 30th or you forfeited that bonus. So again, the bonus is 75 cents per hour for every hour you worked the entire season, plus a $400 per RV bonus. And the reason they stated that way is because if you have a couple in an RV, it's not $400 per person. It's $400 for the RV. So they split it, or, if you're married, her money's her money and your money's her money. That's why I don't do it. So I got the full $400. But if you're, if there's two of you, roommates, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, significant others, whatever, $400 between the two of you. And then the 75 cents an hour. So it was a nice check. It does not come until this year. It was October 22nd. So you're long gone from there and probably have almost forgotten about it by the time you get it. So it was nice to get. You are given uniforms. When you get there, you'll go sign for those. They give you 2 shirts, a sweatshirt, a name tag, offer you a raincoat if you wish, and those are yours to use, and a hat, and the baseball cap or whatever. Those are yours to use while you're there. Now, the baseball cap you do not have to return. Okay, that's yours, and mine was, I threw it away at the end. It was brutal. It was stained and it was bad. All the other stuff you have to return. And they do take $15 out of your first check as a deposit for that, and then when you return it, you are returned the $15. I think I got that sometime the beginning of November. So they're in no rush to get that back to you, but you do get it back. You're going to be working under supervisors. So I was working under, ride supervisors. They all were very friendly. They've been there a long time. I had no issues with anyone. I will say that there are rules in the park, and everyone, of course, is supposed to follow them. However, I will say that they're not always the best in enforcing those rules. And there were a couple of occasions where I was just reminded that maybe we want to tell people about the rules in a different way. To me, a rule is a rule, and if a kid's jumping a fence or jumping a gate or jumping a rail or whatever, that's a chance for them to get hurt, and I did see it. I did see a girl fall on her face and bust her teeth. So we don't want them to do that. Safety is number one. And so I would tell them that, but they, want you to gingerly tell them, they're millennials, be careful. They've been told their whole lives that they get trophies and they're the best and they can be anything they want, which is nonsense. But anyway, I don't want to get off on that. That's neither here nor there. But anyway, so They do have a function at the end of the season, at the beginning of October. This year was the 4th, 5th, or 6th, somewhere in there. Oktoberfest, that they have a live band come in. This year was Hanson, Umbop. And you are offered the opportunity to stay and work for that. I did not, because I didn't want to wait. I had another job to get to anyway, but I didn't want to sit there and wait a week without being paid to work one day, 10 hours, a day, 15 hour. Just wasn't worth it to me. But you can do that if you'd like. And you don't have to leave the campground until October 15th. October 15th, you must be out of the campground. It does close. So something to think about. But of course, most of us have jobs that start at the beginning of October, and we have to be out there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Trying to think. They do have, okay, so you can bring in a bottle of water, or, you can have, I had a bottle I put stuff in. Sometimes I'd have water, sometimes I'd have soda, whatever. When it's really, really hot, I would advise water. But they do have a commissary or lunchroom for employees only. It is very inexpensive, very, very cheap. They have an entree every day, sometimes more than one. They really go out of the box with what they make. All kinds of stuff: chicken Kiev, chicken cacciatore, just crazy stuff. But you get to try all kinds of neat stuff. And it's $2.50. Fountain drinks, 25 cents. They would make these fresh cookies every day. 2 cookies were 25 cents. It was very inexpensive. So I would highly recommend taking advantage of that, because you can't eat that cheap anywhere else. The location of the park is wonderful as far as where it is in the city. Right across the street, and I mean literally across the street, is a gigantic horse race track, which is in season while you're there, as well as they have a huge casino, a great buffet on Tuesday nights. It's $10. Glad to be away from that, because I was gaining way too much weight. A million restaurant. I mean, right across the street is a beautiful new movie theater with, the stadium seating and the reclining seats. I mean, it's wonderful. When you get there, they're going to give you a cardboard type piece of paper kind of sort of thing with discounts at all the local places. And I use the one at the movie theater all the time, because it got you a free popcorn if you bought a soda. And then what I would do is it was a free small popcorn, so I would just upgrade the large, and they would just charge me the difference. So a large soda and a large popcorn with free refills was like $8. A heck of a deal. And their kettle corn, oh my God. Again, glad to be away from there, gaining way too much weight. Tons of restaurants around. You're close to downtown. The great thing about Altoona and Des Moines is, even though it's the capital of Iowa, traffic is really almost non-existent. I went to several functions downtown: concerts, monster trucks, hockey, all kinds of stuff. And I literally could leave the campground and be in my parking spot downtown in like 15 minutes. Amazing. You're not going to any major city and doing that, and free to park. In most places. There are some places downtown, but most places was free to park. But I have a ton of restaurants I went to, and you can certainly leave some comments or questions if you'd like, and I'll be more than happy to give you the places that I went. Just off the top of my head, real quick, Fong's Chinese pizza restaurant. Their crab rangoon pizza will change your life. Excellent place. Angry Goldfish. They would serve in a wooden bowl for $1 sriracha flavored goldfish, and their mac and cheese, that was a dish all on its own, was Spätzle noodles, which are filled with cheese, and then made it into mac and cheese with candied bacon on the top and these 2 warm pretzel pieces. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm glad I'm away from there. I've lost some pounds since I left. Really don't know what else I can tell you. Again, I had a good experience. I told you how much you're going to make, the bonus, the uniforms. Again, they gave me lots of opportunities. I ran all kinds of rides. They'll let you do what you feel comfortable with. Whatever rides you feel comfortable with, that's what they want you working, because safety is their first concern. I was up to running anything and everything, and I did everything that they would let me do. So I told you about that. The uniforms. I don't know, guys. It's a good opportunity if you want to do it. It's one of the prerequisite work camping jobs, which is why I did this. I plan on writing a book when I'm done. So I wanted to do Adventureland because it seems to be one of the big jobs that is advertised in Work Camper. Gary, the HR manager, goes out to all the big RV shows, Quartzsite, etc., Tampa in January, to hire work campers. And so it's one of the big jobs everyone does, and I wanted to do it. And I did, and I had a good time, and I would definitely consider going back. I don't think I'm going back this year. I believe I'm going to go up to another theme park in another part of the country. but it's nice to know that option's always open to me, because I feel like I did a good job, and they definitely were welcoming to have me back. If you have any other questions or concerns, just leave them down below in the comments. I know I went on a little long, but I really felt like I wanted to give you all the information. And I will say, it didn't matter what size rig you have. They have pull-through sites that'll hold. I mean, there were some big rigs there, Phaetons. I mean, rigs with trailers, Class A rigs that were pulling trailers longer than the trailer that I live in. So plenty of room. Never had any issue with any of the utilities, the water or the sewer or the electric. It was all fine. I will say, remember, you are in tornado area, and there was a couple instances of tornadoes while I was there. We did have a time when they were near the park, and we had to get everyone into shelter. So that is a concern. Again, I told you about the heat, also the cold. It snowed on us probably 3, 4, 5 times when I got there. So you do, I mean, I think 2 years ago, the first couple days the park was open, it was closed because of snow. So keep that in mind. You are close to a lot of stuff. I'll just mention real quick, while I was there, I did a weekend in Chicago, I did a weekend in Minneapolis, a weekend in Kansas City. So you're between 3 and 5 hours from a lot of really cool towns and cities. I went to the Spam Museum, went to the Surf Ballroom, which is where Buddy Holly and them played before their plane crash. Went to the Buddy Holly crash site, Bridges of Madison County, the John Wayne Museum. They have a tulip festival, which was amazing. Did a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to do. And of course, in the beginning, the first month and the last month, your weekends only. So you have the whole week to go do whatever you want. So don't worry about while you're working. Get as many hours as you can, because remember, you got that bonus coming at the end, and then use that first month and that last month to go do all the stuff you want to do. Now, you're going to